Lionel passenger set showed up here a little while ago. Guy wants to get it cleaned up and ready to go. It's a family heirloom. I said I'd go ahead and knock it out for him. He's a local boy up here in Montana. Let's take a look at this little thing and see what we got here. Sure. Nice passenger cars here. Nice and, well, they look good on this recording. They're dirty, like you wouldn't believe. And we got boxes here with all the ends broken off, of course. It's a rule. Sure. A 221. The 264 here. Sure. Oh, yeah. It's got the gunmetal tender. No whistler to it. It's unfortunate. Here's a set of 3 cars. Oh, man. Look at the... Once we get those cleaned up, they are going to be super nice. The box for the locomotive. So we got boxes. I don't even know, I'll have to look this one up. And the end caps. I hear there's fellers out there that know how to restore the boxes. Here's all the tabs for the boxes. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That is an old lock-on. Sure, somewhere in there must be an uncoupling track. Is there? Oh, sure, right there. I wonder why. And some old track here. This transformer here, we're not going to do anything with this. This is just a death trap waiting to happen. This one here, it doesn't have an extension cord on it. This we got something a little bit better here. This is the before the 1030 right here. What is this one? It's a 1034. It doesn't have the whistle. And then the other one, that's absolutely filthy right there. I want to get this running. It might end up being a Christmas tree princess or something like that. We're going to throw this right in the round file. We're going to put this stuff here in the ultrasonic cleaner and whoop it all into shape because it's got the filth and some rust on it. So I'm just using some simple green. Put it in there at about 95 degrees. Give it about 10 minutes. These here, I guess we'll start taking them apart, clean it, lube it, see what it's going to take to get it running again. I got this book right here where I get all my good information from. We're going to look up that 221 steam locomotive. Turns out it's one of the first 2 steam locomotives that Lionel offered right after the war. So this would be what they call post-war. It says that this one here is kind of patterned after the Henry Dreyfuss style of Hudson locomotive by the New York Central. And that's why it looks like this, with this whole thing going on right here. And going through here, it's a Type 1, the initial 1946 production. So you go to this guy's website right here, clintjeffries.com. You go to the Lionel section and you can find the 1946 catalog, which looks like this. And you flip through the pages a little bit and then you come up to this one here. And it says here, this is the number 1400 set. Available for 1942. This could be had for 30 bucks. And they call this the Empire State Locomotive. And these here were put on with decals from what I've read in this thing here. Interesting information. It's also nice to have these catalogs available online. But let's start taking this thing here apart and cleaning her up some. It's got some pitting on all this stuff right here. I don't know if we'll be able to doll that up at all. It's got the pin driven through here, which holds the back of the motor in. Feels nice and smooth. How about a 1/4 inch nut driver? No? Something different. 7/32. That's what it is today. Yes, sir. Wish that would have had some sort of a... Oh, it does. It is cammed in there, but it was kind of stripped out some. That, one on each side, I'm sure. These aren't even really tight. Are they? They're not even really wanting to come out. Okay, now it's sort of working with me. Yes, yes, yes. Get our big boy screwdriver out. Get this rear truck off right here. It's not very happy. A little bit smaller bit, but it feels bindy, which is a little nerve-wracking. Not real long, and there's not a lot of threads on that thing either. That's what I was concerned about. Rear truck, and this hitch is set up like this. No, it's set up like that. So that looks like it's a little bent. Hope I can chase those threads up some. Punch on this pin. Give it some love taps. This guy comes out. It's only got a knurled edge on one side of it. We got an extra screw right there. It's first time, as usual, this is the first time I'm going through one of these things here. We're learning about it together. This front truck is hooked underneath right here, so it's really wanting to be taken off before we pull that out. Learning stuff new every day. At least these components are in good shape. Here's this guy. Oh, the light bulb wire is flopping in the wind in here. Okay, well, we can test that. Can we pull these out? No. Wow, they're riveted in there. That's interesting. So I don't want to take them apart. I could unscrew these out of there, but these are not coming out. They are definitely riveted in, so we're gonna have to hand polish all of that anyway. Take these guys out here for the brush holders. I'm gonna want to clean up that armature. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to pull it out because the wheels are in the way, of course. Check our brushes. How are they looking? Brush length. They've got some grease or oil on them. This little guy over here, these get wore out, these bushings. And you can lube and clean these things up all day long. And then you go to run them and they'll howl because that armature shaft is just vibrating around in there because they got 100,000 miles on them. That one did not want to come out. It was tight. Them little fellers right there. We can take this guy off. Not gonna really be able to get into this. Take this screw out here. We'll be able to get the E unit out. This is the wire coming from the pickups down below, these slides, and they didn't make this any extra longer at all. I can't even get that lifted out of there because that wire is so short. Here's the wire going to the magnet for the electromagnet, and it's certainly got some length to it. But this little guy right here, no. We'll get the soldering iron warming up here so we can get this out and look and inspect it. They're always doing that, assembling these things, and then you can't do anything with them. What's a feller to do? Take it apart all the way? Here the axles are sitting in there and they're all flush on this side. Here they're not so much on the geared side. I wonder if I can take just one wheel out and be able to get that to come out of there. Dare I? I have it on the non-gear side, so I didn't put those gears into shock. Is this gonna do us? Yep, now I can really get around in there. If I wanted to go insane, I could do that with all of them, to tell you the truth. That I can get these idler gears off and really clean that up. These things are loose too. Boy, they just kind of come right off there. It's the blind center one. Here's a reduction gear right here. Yeah. Let's get this one off right here. Put my thumb right on the hot spot. Now a guy can really get in there and work on this thing. You can clean this up. Drum sitting in here. It's got just some filth on it. This is going to take a lot of ultrasonic, or a lot of odorless mineral spirits on this one here. I'm not going to ultrasonic it because it usually takes off the bluing that's on all this metal right here. It'll turn these things just the normal color of aluminum, kind of a gray. So this is going to all have to be hand cleaned, and that takes a lot of time. A lot of time for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, come back when all this is cleaned up and looking nice. Yep. Normally I don't have the simple green inside here like this, but I was fitting some HO track up here, I don't know, a month ago, and I left it in. So it worked out handy for this stuff. Let it air dry like this quickly because it's warm, so it'll evaporate real fast. It's only in there for about 5 minutes, and we got, you know, it's not shiny. We got to take like a Scotch-Brite after it because it's still got some surface rust, but the dirt and the grease is off of it. This one really came out really nice because it was funky. I can't get all the grease off this thing after the 13 Q-tips that I used, so I'm just going to use some brake parts cleaner on it here. Just makes it so you get every little tiny bit off of it. There's some crevices in here that make it tough. Tough, I tell you. Get in here to the E unit. Yes, yeah, and in our brush plate right here. Yes, much better. Yesterday when I was cleaning up all the track that's over there, I had the ultrasonic cleaner warmed up. So I decided to take all these little pieces and I put it in the ultrasonic. I put it in a baggie. The ultrasonic was set at 95 degrees. And I did it for 5 minutes because I didn't want to pull any paint off and stuff. But it gets all this stuff cleaned up like you just wouldn't believe. Don't do it too much high. Some guys ask me, what temperature do you run this stuff at? You run the ultrasonic at 140 to strip paint. Run it at about 90, 80, 95 just to clean, to degrease things. But it strips out all the grease on these. You see how these look like this? Now we gotta kind of fix that to put a little more color to the thing. So what I'm going to do with all the wheels is I'm going to take some of the Super Lube multi-purpose synthetic oil and I'm going to make a mess out of this here. I should have a special one just for oiling things. And I kind of make a reference, this is like when you oil your handguns for those that are allowed to have them. And just put a little light coat on all these things. It looks kind of heavy initially, and that's why I'm doing it now, but it's going to make all this kind of even out. I'm not going to, of course, not going to put it on the traction surfaces there, but I'm going to go through and do this to everything. It's going to be a while before I need these for the reassembly process. See these guys here, what they look like? I'm just going to get in there and just do this, and it just puts a little sheen to them, a little shine. Might help with rust prevention, although they are already treated. That's why they're black in color. Plus, I think they're aluminum. They're cast aluminum. This is going to help out the final product right here for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and coat all these things with oil. We can get started on the reassembly process. During the disassembly phase, the light bulb and the end of it came off. It broke. We're going to whoop this back into shape. This old cloth wire here that's braided, you know, this is new stuff that you can get. I get this from the train tender in upstate New York. You can Google that. The train tender, upstate New York, is where I get all my Lionel parts from. So we want to get a new fresh wire here. And then we'll get rid of this feller. And you sure don't need much wire hanging out the end for this one end here. Just the tiniest little bit. This has got solder in it. So we're going to use this stuff called a solder wick. You set it down and you warm it up, and then the solder that's in there will warm up and it'll go into this copper wick. So like that. Get some Freshie in there, and we're going to put this guy in through the center. And this little washer here came off of it, so I'm sure that it goes on the back side to allow a little more room to prevent shorts. This is going to go back into here. It doesn't have a spring because the bulb is going to screw in. This part here is going to solder onto the E unit where the pickup is from the track power. I'm going to want to tin this a little bit to make it a little easier to work with so it doesn't fall apart. But I want to see if this light bulb is any good, so we'll just go continuity from here to here. That's a negative. Let's look for a light bulb. I didn't expect it to be good, so let me see what I've got. Of course, you can't see the numbers on this bulb. The way they made it just says GE for sure. This is a 1447, and it's either going to be just right or not enough for brightness, but I do have a couple other ones. I got about 35 different part numbers of bulbs here. You think I'd have the right one in stock? No. Guess we got the continuity now. So that little feller's off to the races. Here's what them wheels look like with the oil treatment on them. And I know it's not like soaking in, it's not like hand lotion, but after a while the excess, it goes away. So everything's got just a nice light coat of oil on it. And within 2-3 hours, you won't even hardly know that that's happened to it. I also did the oil with this toothbrush on this after it was all said and done, just to give it some protection, to make it the way we want it to be. And I did that with these gears also. So I'm happy with the work so far. We are ready to start putting this all back together again. The fiberglass pencil is really good, especially at this time, to get in here and clean up this drum for the E unit. This one don't look bad, but remember there's also fingers that ride on it. You can just barely see them right there. Right there is a set of 2. And then over here, buried down inside there, there's 4 of them. So even though you clean the drum up and make it look really pretty, if the fingers are buggered, it won't work. Roll it, clean it, roll it, clean it. Just be careful not to hit them fingers that are up inside there and bend them up. That'll create some havoc. E-unit's just going to slip back in here. One small bolt like this that's got kind of a tapered end to it. Always seems to be the E-unit screw. This area right through here is where that pin goes through that holds this thing into the body. So you got to make sure that none of your wires are going to be in this area right here where they could potentially short out at. This is our pickup wire here. And then they had this thing routed and jammed in the back over here. I thought it was kind of poor, but I guess if it's good enough for Lionel, it's good enough for me. Our brush wires here, they had them tucked away, and you bend these just enough, then they'll end up breaking on you. So you got to be careful with all of that. Probably going to break on me anyway. Now we're going to get out the Super Lube, the multi-purpose synthetic grease toothpick. And we're going to take care of our reduction gears right now. Well, they're not going to stay on because I'm going to pick it up and move it around, and then they're going to fall off until I get the wheels in. One's going to go right here on this post. This little feller here, grease him up, and he's going to go up on this other post up over here. This one here, it actually rusted on the back side some onto this, and it had a discolored area on it. Our armature shaft goes in. Okay, so I told you I'd be pushing those in and out several times. We're going to give this bearing right here, this bushing, get it lubed up. Here, yes, there, yes. These little screws like that, we're going to put them on this side. Ah, what a hassle. One of these to hold that dang screw. Oh, there, 10 times better. I don't know why I always deny myself the pleasures of the end of 19th century. This guy's gonna come over here. Yeah, I put that plate in backwards because this armature's got to stick through a little farther. So I'll switch that around. I had a 50% chance and I got it 100% wrong. Well, we got the plate on the correct direction now. The first reduction gear in. Go over here. These got all shiny from being in the ultrasonic cleaner. And they look like they are a sufficient length to be serviceable. So we're going to put these right back to work again. If I can play this game. 2 here. Some there. Yes. And then these larger headed, these guys with the big head like that, they're going to go in over here. And I had to provide some down friction so I could keep these brushes in there. I'm loving it so far. By the way these wires look, it looks like they were routed up, and then they also went underneath this main pin. And they came around right there. Yes. So this guy sits in there and holds all the wires in. So we have our blind wheel. We've got this other gear reducer right down in here. So I'm going to put some grease in these bushings right here for the axles. And don't forget this other side over here. Am I putting too much in? Probably. Who knows? Somebody does. That's not too much. It ain't goobing all over the place, so we're doing all right. Blind gear, blind wheel goes in the center. We got to time this. The front and the rear wheels are the same. We still got to time it because it's got to be timed with the gears. We're getting ready to quarter them. And we'll know that we'll have it properly quartered, or so far, we're only like 1/8 right now. We're getting these guys lined up. It looks like all of these are the same length that hold this main draw bite, these main rods on. One there, one up here. That one acts like it doesn't want to go in very well. I'm going to try a different one. I don't want to force these. They're small and they're also old. 7/32. Just a little snugging. Loving it. I'm going to put these at the 3 o'clock or the 9 o'clock position, depending upon whichever direction you decide to. And then the other wheels we're going to put on at either a 12 or a 6 position. In fact, I think I'll put them in at 12. Oh man, that was just finger tight is all I had to do to put that on. It means these things are going to be loose. They might need some blue Loctite on them. Straight up and down. Yeah, ooh. Straight up and down. And I'd like to think I've got fingers that are that powerful, but I'm going to work on getting these 2 guys in. I like this one. Am I missing? Oh, great, I am. I'm missing one. I get a lot of emails every week about people that want to promote their products on my channel. And I don't do it because, for one, I haven't found a product that I think is worth anything to promote on the channel. And then I realize I've got a really important product that I should promote on the channel. Classic Model Trains World. I think the most important one is our members that are out there. They're providing the most amount of extra income that comes into the channel, well, week to week or month to month. I want to thank everybody that does support the channel through our memberships. It's all through YouTube. There's a join button at the bottom of the videos, every one of them. Click in and it'll describe how that works, how it breaks down. People are always asking me, how do I become a member? That's what you got to do. You got to be subscribed first to become a member. that generates lots of extra income, and it helps support the $1 club layout for the storage of the building that it's in right now. Another thing that we do to support the endeavors that I've got right here is my coffee cups, the 33%ers, the 33% coffee cups. Those you have to send an email to me, classicmodeltrains@aol.com, because I need to know your city and state that you live in so I can print those out. And I've also got other cups available on the eBay store. Another thing that I got going on is the Amazon Associates program. A lot of people are always asking me, where do you get that? Where do you get this? What do you use? Beneath every video in the description section, click it open. It's got all the links to all the tools that I've used. I get most of my stuff through Amazon and eBay. That's the only two places that I buy stuff. If you go to one of these Amazon links and you end up buying something, they kick back a little small percentage, 2-3%. It doesn't cost you anything extra. These are the ways that you guys can help support the channel. I appreciate all the support out there. I'm going to try to see if we can do this full time coming up this year now. We're about halfway through the video right now. It is an excellent time to do Classic Model Trains, Classic Model of the Week. Do you guys know who this is? If you do, type it in the comments down below. If you don't, hang out till the end. I'll let you know who it is. Let's get back into working on this stuff. Found that bolt. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Let's solder up this main pickup here that goes to the main, pretty much everything that's on here. And then we can try this thing out. One's gonna go here. Come on, here we go. One there. One just anywhere else for the ground. And what do we got? Uh-huh. No. No. Oh. Reverse. Okay, the E unit doesn't like to work unless it's standing straight up and down. Forward. Couldn't be happier. Although I do believe I did not oil these armatures here, just from the way it sounds. A little taste right there, little taste right there. Yeah, that sounds better. Yes. And what kind of brightness are we going to have out of our bulb? Sufficient or? Yeah, sure. I think that's going to work. This body here, I gave it the old cleaning up. I took it and washed it with the old soap and water, dried it off, because it looked like this initially. And you can see right there, it's got like dirt or mold or something like that on it. And I used to like to take these things and wax them with the old turtle wax. But times seem to be a-changing now. They've got this new stuff for cars out there, and they call it ceramic. Not that this is any better or worse brand than anything else. It's just something that I picked up at the Walmart. And you spray it on, and you spread it out with one of these little things. And then after it's all kind of said and done, and you wipe it off, I'll never pass up the opportunity to take a, Virginal boot brush after it. And you give it some of this here, and oh my goodness, does it make it shine. We'll do a before and after on this tender here. But I think we can definitely put this thing back together now. It is giving us the kind of performance that we desire. So one goes here. There's a Phillips screw that's gonna go down in here. I'm just gonna use this for a little bit just to help guide. And I'm gonna put this pin back here at the back of this. It's going to hold this whole thing together. Why can't I get that to go in there? What's happening here? Oh, there we go. Okay. It's got to go in from the engineer's side. It's getting dangerously close to the body, so now I'll move over to this. I don't want to smack it. Till it goes in flush. I'm going to get these rods on before I bend them all out of shape or something dumb happens. These are timed. Ordinarily, this will face the center. Not ordinarily. This does face the center for the timing. You can see that there's being hard, this should lay in there, and it should lay in there nice, like this. A D shape on this pin. There would be a D shape in this. This one's a little wallered out. So I'm hoping once the bolt goes in, it's gonna hold it tight like it's supposed to. Sure, do the same with the other side. Front truck's gonna come in like this, screw in. We're gonna use this chrome one, this fancy one right here. Rear truck, this assembles this position like this. Looks like that's bent, doesn't it? It's like it should be straight like this. I like that better. And then this guy here, which doesn't have very good threads on it at all, making me nervous. under that. Okay, what do we got going on here? On top of that, boy, there's a lot happening here. And yes, we lucked out. I got to throw one more rod on, and then this job here is done. This locomotive, we can move on to other things. I came by with the Super Lube, multi-purpose synthetic oil, touched up all these little areas right in here, just a little peck. Came under here for the axles. Give it a little touch here and here so that these have got some lubrication on them. Up in here. So now we got everybody greased, oiled, and lubed, ready for service for another 80 years. Well, not really. Couldn't clean these up any because the nickel plating actually is coming off of the metal. That's why it looks like that. And over here, everything else cleaned up all right. Snug these down nice and tight, all these. So this guy is ready to go. I'll have to give it a wipe down again. I got my oily fingerprints on it. Let's get some of those other cars cleaned up. I just realized I forgot to put the light bulb in. It just sits right here like this. But I've got to drop the body down to solder this to where the pickup is up there. So I get to pull this out and solder this on and put it all back together. One of those things guys sometimes do. Forget to do some things. Here's this tender after I just washed it. This is the finish. I mean, this trade set's got an amazing paint job on it. But I just want to give it some more. So I'm going to use this stuff right here, just the ceramic. They say it doesn't take much. Oh, it's all over my thing here. Now I've got ceramic protection right there. It's weird. You don't let it dry. You just wipe it on, wipe it off. Then I'm going to take some of this after it. There's some dots on here. It's got something that stained it up some. This is working out quite well. I'm liking it. So it's faster than, you know, I used to paste wax them with turtle wax, and then you'd get the paste wax and stuff like this. I love it. I love it. So we got these two guys here all cleaned up, put together, looking fantastic. Starting on these, I took them all apart and I found the windows inside of them that are like this. And they've been wrinkled up and fell off years and years ago. I'm not gonna be able to do anything with the windows. This is what they look like, just with nothing done to them whatsoever. This paint job is absolutely, these are so well preserved. The roofs, they're a little on the dirty side. It barely shows up in this. They got some funk. This one here, I washed it, and then I took the ceramic after it, and we've got it looking like this. So this is top notch. I'm gonna go ahead and do that to the rest of them now. Wash them with soap and water. And by soap, I mean I've got some liquid dish soap in here, just a little bit, and I spray it on, got the water, toothbrush, gently massage it, rinse them off, let them dry. So I'm gonna knock these two out here. We're gonna leave the windows open, and then we're gonna ceramic these. So then we'll have all the cars done, locomotive, tender, track, and then I'm gonna have to go into this. I've taken it apart, oh my goodness. Now, I'm pretty sure just some washing is gonna bring this thing around. Here's the inside of the transformer. This here's the circuit breaker right there that's all corroded. I'm gonna get into that. I do happen to have a 1030 update kit right here. So we'll do extension cord, and we're gonna put in this new circuit breaker right here and get this updated. Clean, I mean, look at this thing. Ugh. Some more scrubbing is in order right now. Some of this track here, pins, they've got the rust on them like this. And it's weird that this track did it, and this other track that was in there, well, I guess it did it as well too. I've never really seen the pins rust before. I'm gonna try some of the old Naval jelly here. This is supposed to be nature's cure for this kind of stuff here. We need the juices to flow through there. Some of the track is hammered, and normally I wouldn't do this to the track. I just get some newer, better stuff, but I enjoy the challenge. I want to see if I can make this work. If this is the track that came with the original set, it's from 1946. That's got a story to tell right there in it. Look at this old lock-on right here. It's got a little rust on the chromey stuff there. They say you just put this on, you wait 5 minutes, you rinse it off. It's like, well, I could play that game for, 10 minutes. All in the name of science. Keep it a ridge. Got a few more pieces of track to knock out here. I'll be back with an update. I took out the track and I scrubbed it down like this with the old green scrubby here. I put this on and I wanted to check the continuity all the way around the thing. So I figured out which one is what, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't going backwards anywhere. And I'd get halfway around the track and I'd be over here, and all of a sudden it'd be showing continuity. And I ain't never seen nothing like this ever before. But if you see this one right here, that insulator is not in the right spot. The center rail is supposed to be separate from the outside rail, and it ain't. So I got to open this up and I got to get that insulator on there. I've never seen one. I just happened to catch that out of the corner of my eye. So we're going to spread this open with a screwdriver, get that insulator in there, get this back in the track, because we need it to be electrically isolated from the outside to the inside. Got that taken care of. Now I can get over here. Oh yeah. Yep, that's exactly what I wanted. Now I can check it to see what kind of continuity we've got all the way around it. This is our center rail. Of course, it's showing 0, 0 like it's supposed to, like one would expect it to. You can't even see that because of my light. You have to believe me then. On the other side of the track, what do we do in the center rail? Wow, it's pretty much electrically open. That's fun. 0.02, 2430, oh my goodness. That's in really poor shape. I don't even know if it's gonna work. To tell you the truth, how about the outside rail? Goodness, it's good right there. Of course, the ground is going to be really good. It's got 2 connections. I'm going to throw a loco on it anyway. I'm going to power it up and just see. I'm guessing with the vibrations going around and stuff that it's going to clean. I think it's going to come around, is what I'm trying to say. Got the cars all cleaned up and reassembled, but now we got to lube up these wheels right in here. And these here, the axles turn, and then the wheels also roll on the axles. So you got to make sure you get the juice down below in here for the axle in the truck. And you got to come over here and get the wheel on the axle. And then as long as you're at it, give the coupler just a little kiss. And we do that on all the wheels, and then we are ready to roll this around the track some. As soon as I get that transformer whooped into shape. It washed up real nice. Spin them, spin them, spin them. Yeah. Now let's see if we can get it updated. See what it's going to take to run this around. Our cute little oval here. Just a tiny little thing. So this 1030 upgrade kit right here is available on eBay from a place called Trains in the Attic. Comes in a bag like this. I'm going to use this because this one was ugly and shot. And this is a Lionel L. It's a reproduction. And we're going to use the circuit breaker, and I'll save these for something else because I've got this one here that cleaned up nicely and it doesn't have a horn to it. You can see these little fellers right here. Twist these. This is what holds the top onto the bottom. And I want to get in there. I think I want to desolder this. I put the chisel tip on the old soldering station here because we need to have some heat moving quickly, fast. I'm using 700 degrees. I want things to happen. And if we take this off, what's going to happen here? Here's our circuit breaker. Here's the other wire to the circuit breaker. I'm going to take a Dremel. I'm going to cut right along there to take this circuit breaker body off, out of there. Color me old-fashioned, but if I can solder it, I'd rather solder it than crimp it. Solder this other leg on just right there. Our other input's right here. It's going to go to the other side of the circuit breaker. So we'll solder this feller on. Here's our power supply cable right here. Unbelievably chunked up. Use some of this to pull that solder up out of there. Tie a strain relief here in our wires. It's AC powered, so it doesn't have any phasing that needs to take place to it. Solder these fellers back in. So let's put one here for our circuit breaker. Stuck her down with some double-sided tape. See if I can give these just a little cleaning up here, in case there could be some ick on them. We twisted all these little guys back around to hold this top plate in. Put our button on, plug her in. A couple screws on for the safety. Yes, direction. Loving it. Bolt her up, Jonesy. Let's try it out. After many hours of working on this thing, we've got it ready to go. Take a look at this. Built some wires to come off the transformer to go to our fancy clip here. Tin those up on the end. And then I grabbed up one of these uncouplers for this little fella right over here to try it out. Let's show this thing off and show how pretty she can be. All right. Let's go look at the thing for real. I always love doing that, but let's look at it normal like. It's got fast parts on the track and slow parts. Right there's a slow one. And then everything else is good. Right there is kind of where it gets slow. But this is the whole set doing what she's supposed to do. This is what we loved back in the day, I guess. Came out amazingly nice. So beautiful. I never like to, the reverse button, yeah. Sure. Well, I guess I'm gonna get this boxed up and make a phone call so the fella that owns it can come and pick it up. I wish I had this for my collection for sure. Our classic model of the week is Kathleen Turner. From the 1984 movie, Romancing the Stone. She's probably in other ones also. That's just what sparked my memories. Want to thank the 33%ers and everybody for hanging out with me until the end. I'm Ron with Classic Model Trains. Bye-bye.